Today on the podcast, we're going to break down some really interesting news out of Meta because they have just debuted a new generative AI feature that is going to be rolling out for advertisers. A number of things that they're doing, and we knew it was only a matter of time, in my opinion. Of course, Meta is one of the biggest ad networks in the entire world, and so integrating AI into this is kind of a no-brainer, but it's really interesting the way they're doing this. So today on the podcast, I'll be breaking down how they're doing this and why I think this is kind of a shift that we haven't seen before for advertising and kind of how this AI plays into it. So let's dive into it. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. Meta is stepping up its game in the advertising world. Today, the company unveiled its first ever generative AI feature for advertisers. So this will allow brands to essentially leverage AI to create backgrounds, resize images, essentially doing that so it can fit different aspect ratios and stuff, and to whip up multiple versions of ad text from a single piece of original copy. This is really interesting. You know, we've seen other generative AI kind of features play out. Google Ads, for example, essentially created something. So if you want to create a Google ad, you just give it the URL of your website, and then it's going to be able to go and generate the full ad copy just based off of what it sees on your website. So that's kind of cool. This is a little bit different what we're seeing over from Meta. So I think, this whole revelation follows on the wheels of Meta's recent Connect event, where it essentially showcased its upcoming Quest 3 mixed reality headset and a whole bunch of other AI-driven products. They had AI stickers that you could generate, and editing tools, and even some AI-powered smart glasses. I think all of these really make for some exciting times for fans of immersive technology, and apparently advertisers too, because that's what they've really kind of started focusing on and they've announced today. So, well, the idea of conversing with a virtual celebrity, right? Like we have Mr. Beast and Paris Hilton, that definitely has its novelty. But Meta's latest AI tools, I think, really kind of illustrate the company's broader vision, specifically, how generative AI is going to be harnessed it's essentially supporting the brands and businesses that fuel a really significant portion of their revenue stream, which is, of course, advertising. So I want to give you a breakdown on 3 of the biggest things that I think they have to offer now. The first being background customization. So brands can now refresh their product images by choosing from a range of AI-generated backgrounds. If this sounds familiar, it's because it essentially draws from the tech behind Meta's consumer tool, which is called Backdrop, in the advertising toolkit version. So I think you could expect to see quote unquote, simple backgrounds with colors and patterns, as Meta says. And I think this feature is open to advertisers who craft their sales ads via Meta's Advantage Plus catalog. Now, this isn't super groundbreaking, changing out the background, but I think it does kind of start putting us in a direction where essentially you're using generative AI to help create your ad creative. And this is something that's been controversial, right? Because a lot of people have said okay, well, let's say you have a water bottle, you get generative AI to make some cool photo shoots for you, but it makes the bottle not your exact bottle shape. So it's not really your exact product. And, if you're having, there's always been the controversy of for example, models that are super airbrushed, and people are well, this is super unrealistic to or even your product, if it's like photoshopped too much, it's like, this is unrealistic. The hamburger doesn't actually look that perfect, right? There's all the controversy, but of course advertising does it anyways. But in any case, AI takes it to a whole new level, because when it's generating your product, for example, it can be generating something that literally isn't your product. And maybe it has a resemblance, but it's not your actual thing. So there's all sorts of, I think, kind of sticky situations that comes into. So I think the way that they've gotten around this for now is in these product ads, there's going to be the main product, and all they're doing is changing out the background. So it's a water bottle, and then, you're throwing a waterfall in the background, or some sort of pattern or texture scene. And that's a little bit different than, completely generating the product itself from AI, which is a little bit sketchier in my opinion. So anyways, definitely some things to see how that evolves. But the second thing that they have done is image expansion. So, if you have an amazing image that doesn't quite fit the mold of the feeds or reels format, Meta's AI will adjust it for you, and essentially they're essentially positioning this as a time saver within Meta's, I think it's called Meta's Ads Manager. And the feature kind of hopes to save advertisers from the grind of reshaping creative assets for various platforms. I know for one, like I've run, as you know, my background is in marketing. And so I've done a ton of like Facebook advertising and that kind of stuff. And it definitely is a grind when you create like an asset, for example, like someone doing a really great video or a bunch of nice product photos, you throw them in there and Facebook's like, okay, cool, like this works for like these 3 different ad placements, but we have like these 5 other ad placements, and you have to like completely get us new assets because it just like, we can't crop it the right way and it doesn't look good. And so it's kind of annoying, and you got to go like redo assets and do all this stuff. So it's going to be really cool having a tool like this where they essentially manually do it. Now I'm assuming that this is just for images at the beginning, but this is going to be really cool if this comes in for video. Something I've seen that I feel like would be really powerful is, you have a video of your product and you want to change it from landscape to portrait. And if it could just like automatically fill the difference without having to lower the quality when it does a crop, that would be really, really awesome. So I see a lot of potential for where that's going in the future. The third thing they've done is text variations in Ads Manager. So starting from the advertiser's initial copy, the AI can pretty much come up with up to 6 alternative text versions, and brands can highlight the terms that they want to emphasize. They can make edits to the AI's suggestions, or they can pick the top contenders that kind of align with their objectives. Interestingly, as campaigns roll out, Meta can actually juggle the text combinations to gauge which resonate the most with users, but there is a catch. So Meta hasn't stated that it won't promote or it won't provide performance metrics for each text variant. So what's the underlying message with that? The more text options that brands use, the better their chances of enhancing ad performance will become. I think Meta has run these features through their paces with a select group of advertisers already. Early feedback suggests the tools could slash a notable 5 hours off of people's weekly schedules, which translates to a savings of 1 month annually. But I think it's not all perfect just because it does save some people some time. The company acknowledges that the generative AI's outputs need refinement to truly mirror each brand's unique style, right? That's something that's going to be a little bit tricky. Is, of course, you could say, oh, well, we'll generate images or whatever that go in the background of your product, but a lot of products and a lot of brands have like a very unique style. They have, unique branding, and that's very important to the way that it makes a customer feel when they see their product, right? Like it's always red, it's always this color, or it's always this theme. And so being able to achieve that is a little bit trickier, and it's definitely not there yet, but it can do some more of the, generic, some of the more generic, image generation. I think Meta's AI Odyssey doesn't, stop with all of the stuff they've done there. The company has dropped a bunch of hints about upcoming features that can essentially create ad copy to spotlight products, USPs, or generate backgrounds in line with specific themes. So additionally, stemming from announcements at Meta Connect, I think is where we got a lot of that. But brands can look forward to using, I think, AI to chat with their clientele on WhatsApp and Messenger, and kind of, they already do that to some degree for engagement and support. But I think Meta's teasing having that more integrated so people can kind of do that in a more engaging way. I think in the rapidly digitizing world where time is of the essence and brands constantly are, fighting for consumer attention, Meta's AI-driven tools could be the edge that some advertisers have been waiting for, or maybe they're just another tool in the box. Only time will tell, I think, on that specifically. But what I will say is whenever something new like this comes out, whoever takes advantage of it first usually sees the biggest benefit. So if you are into advertising and you're doing ads on Meta, I'd probably start working on this as soon as possible.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
This episode is brought to you by Klaviyo, the platform that powers smarter digital relationships. With Klaviyo, you can activate all your customer data in real time, connect seamlessly with your customers across all channels, guide your marketing strategy with AI-powered insights, recommendations, and automated assistance, deliver experiences that feel individually designed at scale, and grow your business faster. Power smarter digital relationships with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/Spotify. That's KLAVIYO.com/Spotify.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.